So here we go, my lovely ones. Thank you very much for joining me. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of March 2022, and finally it is March, and finally I can see it's the 1st of March. Because throughout February I wanted to say March, and throughout September I wanted to say February, but here we go. So it's good to be here. I hope you are well, and I'm just inspired to be here with a few cards. So it is going to be a general message for everybody for today, for Tuesday, the 1st of March, St. David's Day here in the UK. I've got my daffodils there, cooling themselves nicely, and the sun is shining out. And in my garden, I've got the crocuses, and the daffodils, and the primroses already out. You know, oh my goodness me. People normally usually have these flowers ready by Easter, but for some reason they feel it is the Easter time. So here we go. So I'm going to bring a few messages, messages for everybody for the day. So I've got 2 decks of cards. Where are they? The Gilded Tarot card. This one, my newbie, and then also Stephanie J. King, Angelic Messages. You know, this one, Stephanie's coming back to the show one of the Tuesdays. And while I'm saying this, since that is the 1st of March now, we've got an event with Stuart Legg, Trance Medium, who's working with White Eagle this Friday the 4th of March from 7:30 to 8:30 UK time GMT, and it is 8:30 on the continent, and it is 2:30 to 3:30 EST time. So if you are drawn to being a guest or being there with us, make sure that you check out our posts. Tickets are still available, and that is actually your time to ask questions. So we will have a smaller group and asking questions. So your question will be answered as well. So what can be more powerful than that? So feel free to send me an email or send a message here so the email goes hello@zsuzannamedium.com if you want to be there. So it's a small group, and it gives you an opportunity to ask a question. Really absolutely beautiful work with this Stuart. So you know, check it out. Check it out. You want to be there. So here we go. So Lee's here, thanks for being here. Now I'm just bringing a message, a daily message for today, Tuesday the 1st of March 2022. And it's interesting because I'm rather shuffling this deck as opposed to my tarot cards. You know, I love cards. I love the pictures. I love all kind of things. You know, I love colorful because I like the arty things. You know, you have to have the arty things going sometimes. But then here we go. You know what, let's just have this one. And after the show today, after the Ava show, I'm planning to be here on this page. So if anybody wants to have a message, not a private reading because we can't do it in public, but then make sure that you hop back on this page, or also on my Instagram page, Zsuzsanna Medium. Everything is Zsuzsanna Medium. So here we go. And yes, my Mother's Day offers are coming out as well, so stay tuned, lovely friends. So while I'm shuffling the cards, what Spirit says that a lot of us have made quite a good progress about sorting things out in our life, and then a lot of us have allowed that energy from the solar plexus area, really the own energy, that trauma or whatever stuck within that place, just releasing. And what Spirit says, continue to release that, because even if you feel that you don't know where you are going with it, but then you are in good hands. That is what they are offering us. They are in good hands. They are also asking for Mother Mary, and then also asking for us to work with Archangel Michael here as well. And never hesitate, and never underestimate, and never hesitate. Never underestimate that you are on the right path, and never hesitate with the steps what you are taking. That I'm getting it into different channels here. There is an utmost love which is coming forward for all of us, and we need to feel it, not just in our heart, but then they are really inviting us to work with our zones around our bodies, you know. And then that nourishing energy, we need to be ready, even more ready to take that energy. What they are also saying is that work actually is a very different dimension than what the earth people, the earthlings are experiencing right now. And as we put the trust in it, as we have been putting the trust in this work, that energy is going to come back to us, and then that energy is going to find us. We can never underestimate that we are being left behind, because nobody is going to left behind, what they are showing me here. And that is that absolute joy energy what they are showing. Because if you started last year, we are talking about August and September, you know, when we were talking about July, August time, how we need to be, oh gosh, she's coming back, because how we need to get prepared for this time. If you put the trust in energy, then the energy is supporting you. And then if you have not started working with that, it is never late to do anything with that. What they are saying is that what they are also showing me is that the prayers what are being sent out, all said in all different languages, all different frequencies, never underestimate that something was not gotten by us, because every single word, like little droplets of notion and energy, is being captured, and it is being held. And what they are showing me is that they are collecting these prayers, they are collecting what we are asking all together in a it feels like a container, you know, energetically in a container, because they are ready to release what needs to be released. And then when that energy and then that blessings and that high frequency, you know, light is coming forward, it means that everybody will feel that release of energy. What we are experiencing, the release of energies and emotions that needs to continue. So even if you feel, I don't know where I'm going with this, and oh come, my goodness me, I can have days when it's like crazy, you go with it. And I know when I'm coaching people, it is okay, you either cry, or you either dance, you either sing, you either jump into the puddle, or you go outside and you scream your head off, or whatever you take. You put your music on as loud as you can, and then you just blare with it. Or sometimes I sit by my piano and, oh my goodness me, the whole street hears I'm playing Bach, because that is what I need to do for the energy. So whatever it takes out of you, you need to go with that, never holding it back, never holding it back, never holding it back. You know, my hand, this is my hand here, and then that energy of yes, it's happening. You know, the energy is happening, the energy is moving, the energy is moving, even if we are very quiet about things, or when we don't, you know, when we don't know what we are experiencing, but then the energy is moving, and it's getting deeper for everybody. We also need to remember how we ground ourselves. And then again, I said that seems to be the keyword, never underestimate the power of being grounded, or your duty to be grounded in the current situations, what you are experiencing right now. If you can do only one thing, or if you have chance to do only one thing today, then your one thing is to ground yourself. And then you use all your mighty energies and power to really feel yourself in your physical body. Because if you are in that space, in that frequency, you are not going to confuse your mind, or your mind is not going to be confused, as long as you are keeping yourself focused to your core and to present. You know, that is what they are saying. There has been a lot of healing energy coming down, and then even I feel that as we are moving forward to March, a different frequency. March and April feels like different frequency of blessings and healing is coming down, and it feels more finer. And when I'm saying finer, it also feels like finalized in a way, finalized. So something what was started is that structure, that phase is now finalized. So March and April, we are completing this sequence of what we started last year. Okay, and then there was another big point over there is July and August, and then now it is coming to its conclusion, March and April. And when we get to middle of April, then we already know where we are going next. And then it feels that there are, honestly, what I feel that there is the consciousness is opening, the awareness is opening for humanity, and then there will be this more constant energy, more constant understanding, you know, the understanding that humanity is one, and then we are moving forward that way, you know. And then I feel that the understanding starts coming in around the middle of April, and then the energy is shifting in May and June. But in order for us to get there, those of us who are holding the light, you know, like you are here, you are holding the light because you are here in this conversation. We need to go even deeper, and we also need to remember how we are grounding ourselves. Again, never underestimate the power of you grounding your energy, not yourself, but then your energy. You know, it's absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There are still quite a lot of people who are doubting the information coming forward for them, because then it's like drip, drip, drip. A lot of people have opened the tap to receive that information, and a lot of people are doubting that because they think or they feel it is just their minds who is talking, and they might be feeling or they feel that they are losing their minds. And what Spirit says that just be with that, because they will give you the information bit by bit and droplet by droplet. Not to push too far, not to push any buttons, because the intention is not to cause even more misalignment or breaking or breakage of energy, like that is what I feel there. But then just to give enough, which is enough to fill that vessel. And when the person is taking that frequency, then the new droplet of wisdom and thought, or whatever format it comes, will be given to that person. Never underestimate the power of your prayer again. It really feels like that as you are doing this work, as you are engaging in this work, underneath constantly there needs to be the energy of prayer, the prayer, acknowledgement, anything, the joy, anything, the trust, that frequency which is constantly there. And then if you don't feel joy or if you don't feel trust, then you pray. If you can't pray, then you feel your joy. If you can't trust, then you go, there is love in my heart and there is love in my life. So whatever way you do, then you have that energy, that frequency constantly going. So we don't have empty patches, because that is where the ego of the mind and the person with the mind falls into those fractures, you know. But then our job is to continue to hold the frequency. Okay, hold it with prayer, hold it with prayer, hold it with prayer, and then it doesn't matter what language you say it, or what chant you say it, or what miracle, or what mirage, or what you are creating, or what you visualize, or what you want to bring forward. But as long as you are holding that frequency, that intention, that I'm not just thinking, but I am saying it out. I'm feeling that word, that frequency. Then you are on the right path, and you need to tell the other people. You need to tell the people in your community to do the same, because if you have a moment when you are in fracture, when you are not able to hold a frequency, then there is somebody else next to you who is able to hold a frequency, and then in that way you are being lifted in that at the time of need or any need. Don't feel that this is a challenge. This is natural, because this is what you have to experience in your timeline right now. You cannot avoid this, and then you cannot avoid this because you have already stepped onto that. And then that, in that sense, that is what we feel as joy for you. What is that for you? For all. I want to say all of us, because I'm listening to the conversation here, for all of us. The guidance, what we are going to receive when we are praying and when we are asking questions, the guidance, we need to be ready that it's going to come in a creative way, and then we will find the next step and the next step and the next step to in a creative way. Okay, so it means that when we are trusting, that creative energy, that creative message can come to us. And I'm not saying paint the picture, not in that sense, but when you feel, or when we feel that there is a moment of this empowerment or fracture, you know, this misalignment, then once you trust, once you hold a frequency of trust and prayer high, then you are able to receive, you know, you are able to notice what you need to notice next, or what you need to receive next, and in that way it becomes a creative flow. Your experience is that you can feel yourself between two words in any one moment. You can feel very bottom and you can feel very high. And what Spirit says, as we are moving forward, a lot of us, a lot of human beings are going to experience this, and then we just have to go through that wall, even if we feel we are hitting the wall, but we just need to get through, and we will get through. So when you feel yourself very low and very high and very low and very high, in any moment you just go with it. And then, wow, that is an experience. Show me more. Thank you. That is what we need to say, because that will shake up a lot of us. As I'm saying it, I'm really feeling it in my solar plexus. So that's pretty cool, because that's the experience of human beings, you know, all of us. This is where we feel that space. So if you feel that one moment you are really flat and the next moment you are joyful, and then going flat and joyful, that's why I have somebody next to you who's holding the light, who is already in the high frequency. So in that sense, any conversation, what we understand, we are understanding it for the others next to us as well. If you remember Anna Frank's conversation exactly like a sort of a year ago, when she started, when she said light the candle, and then that allows you light the candle, the person next to you with that. So you hold the light going, hold the light, and then that helps the other person to hold the light as well. Never underestimate the power of prayer. Never underestimate the power of prayer. I feel that there is a nun here. You know, some time ago somebody said, oh, we'll have a different guide. I mean, I'm not calling guides like this and what their identities and names, but then they've been saying this. So I might have a nun, because as I'm talking to you right now, it really feels that is my experience, that there is a nun here who is just praying for us, and rosary, doing the rosary. It's good, because I don't know anything about the rosary, because I wasn't brought up in the system to know much of that. But then she is, bless her, she's offering the prayer, and she's offering her rosaries, and she's just offering the words of encouragement and whatever she can bring. She comes with this loving and compassionate manner, and never underestimate the power of prayer. Ezekiel, talking about Ezekiel, working with Ezekiel's energy, and what she's saying, that she's already working with Ezekiel, and then she says that is a new energy for her. That's interesting. That's a new energy for her to work with Ezekiel, and then she's ready to tell us more about how she's working with Ezekiel, or how Ezekiel is working with her. No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. She's showing me the light of violet, the violet light. Okay, I'm not working with the reds and oranges and yellows, not the green. She says that for this work we already have the frequency of green and turquoise. She's working on the turquoise light, but then she's already receiving the violet light, and then from that space she's ready to give guidance to us. So it's really lovely. But then when I'm asking if you can show me more of yourself, not because I want to know names, but I don't want to know names. I don't want to know names, but then she's stepping back. And then it's interesting, because how I see the whole setup here, there is light and darkness, light and shadow. And she's stepping back in the shadow, because she doesn't want to show herself as a individual, but then bringing herself as an energy. And then she's grateful and thankful for being recognized with her energy. But then it really feels like she is a nun here with us. None with us. Never underestimate the power of prayer. Never underestimate the power of prayer. That is what she's like a mantra for us from this space. Now, what my finger is doing, I'm going backwards. And what Spirit says, that even when we feel that our time is going backwards, humanity and history is going backwards. We are going back. But then what they are saying, what consciousness is saying, that we cannot do that, and we cannot go back. We cannot have the energy going backwards in a way that even in our human mind we are thinking, oh, we are going back in history. You know, if you understand that. But what Spirit says is it is just your perception. It is just your perception, because the lesson which was not learned back then, historically, you know, decades and hundreds of years ago, it was not learned. Now, the current humanity, human beings, we have to go back to experience that, so that the healing is going to take place on that level, on that frequency, for that community, for that society, for those people. And then once we we heal that energy, it will have an impact on us in this current time as humanity is experiencing itself. So don't feel that that is just a perception, how we are going back in time, because we need to go back time. And then what Spirit says is actually going to be even more intense when conversations coming to us, presented to us, will remind us of what was happening in history before. But we need to go back to that place because we need to hear that. We need to hear that. Now, I remember while I'm saying this with my Zsuzsanna mind, I remember that when I worked with Anna Frank, or when Anna Frank showed me the Holocaust conversation, when the family was taken away, and when she was talking about going back to the place of the camp and then a home where she lived, she says that she does not really like going back to that place because the energy, the frequency, those people who lost their lives, oh my goodness, I have to look this up exactly how she was saying, but then those people who lost their lives in those camps, those souls are still trapped there, and then they are still trying to understand their own situations, and then still trying to bring closure to their own lives and situations. And then also, if they feel, some of them lost a lot of them lost a lot of things, not just hair and jewelry, but then their lives and their loved ones. But then those who are stuck on that frequency, they are there and trying to look. They are still looking for their loved ones. They are still looking for their shoes. They are still looking for their fingers and their jewelries. They are still looking for their glasses. They are still looking for their identities. And that's why Anna Frank was saying that she does not like going back to that space energetically, although she knows what is happening there, because those souls who lost their physical lives, they are there, they are still there, and trying to come to a conclusion, find conclusion to what was lost, and find meaning, and find judgment, find the balance, because balance and judgment was not served when they were there, and ever since they are not able to move forward. So the frequency around that place, that's why is very, very, very low and very dense and extremely painful even for her to visit, because she's representing the frequency of her own family. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about on a front conversation, go back to all the conversations beginning at the end of March last year, 2021, for 4 episodes on the radio. And when I talk about exactly how she gave things, but then I wasn't prepared for this to come forward now, but I needed to tell you this, because so within the historical conversation, okay, so when the energy says we need to go back to that place because the healing was not gotten, okay, we cannot move forward when we are dragging something which is not gotten, you know. And then whether we are thinking of 50 years, 100 years, or 300 years, or 900 years, or whatever, time and the linear thing is just somehow how we are perceiving things. But then we need to go back. Yeah, that is our job. That's why we are here. We took this big chunk of experience here. You know, those of us who live here in 2022, wow, especially for those of us who work with light, we've got big responsibility to work with that energy as well, you know. Quite a lot of us are able to go back to that time, you know. It's like, wow, I'm there. Civil War time here in the UK, no problem. I managed to move into a town where there was like a big thing. So yeah, I can talk to you about different things. Soldiers coming through my garden, coming from the Oxford area, going home, coming home. From the Civil War time, you know, so it's different things. So you can have, once you tune into that, you can do the same, you know, your job, and it's not that, you know, whatever level you are working at and whatnot, but your job is to start working with your own light and your own energy, because then you are there, you are put there within your own community, within your own family and community to keep your frequency high, for yourself and for the others, and for yourself and for the others. And then once you continuously work on your own frequency and on own light, you work on your intuition, you work on your this scale and that scale. Doesn't matter how we are naming, these are just labels. And then honestly, personally, what I feel as we move forward, these labels will dissolve because their meaning is not that important as we move forward. Everybody can be psychic, everybody can da. And the most important thing is that you meditate and you work on light. And then wherever you live, consider there is a reason why you are actually born into that group or family, community, country, nation, whatever you want to label it, but then you are there because there is something you need to be there. That is your little segment of healing of the whole thing. So, and then the more you work on that way, then it is just so beautiful. The frequency is going to increase for you. The angelic realm, they are asking you to work with them. You look up whom you want to work with, or just like be quiet and then see who comes forward. And you might feel it as a light. How I talk about colors and light and frequencies, because that is how they are showing me themselves, and I get the name and the meaning afterwards. Or whatever way they want to work with you, they will find you. You cannot really hide, because they will find you. Once you have the intention, there's that utmost joy from that realm to come here, to come forward and hold us and hold human beings on this journey, on this path. They recognize it is a tough experience, a challenging experience. We need to be kind to ourselves. We need to be compassionate with ourselves, first of all, because then we cannot have patience and love, giving to the others while we are not that way to ourselves. So it's really, really encouraging us to work with ourselves first. Your way into is meditation. There is no other way. And then you see meditation, you can sit for half an hour, you can just be 30 seconds breathing quietly. So Europe. Okay, so what is happening in Europe? What is happening in Europe? It's quite interesting. Those of you who speak Hungarian, last year I recorded something on my Hungarian page. Fascinating. Not because I was thinking of what is happening about nations around Hungary. So Hungary is next to Ukraine, okay? We used to be neighbors with the Russians. So when I was a kid, that was compulsory, everything to know. Well, so that was a completely different conversation. But then last year when I had a conversation, I just wanted to bring cards or something for my Hungarian audience. Then a conversation began about what is happening, what is going to happen. And that was actually given, that people, and then in relation to that was in relation to the Hungarian speaking community, that those people who live outside of the border, they start coming in. So that is what Spirit showed, that people were actually in big masses moving, packing up and moving and finding their way. And then when I read the question, what is happening in Europe, things are really turning upside down. So that is what is happening. But then the Spirit puts the conversation back to ourselves, because what is happening has to happen, because the healing was not gotten back then, historically, decades and centuries ago, back. It was not gotten. But then in that sense, we need to work on ourselves so we can hold a frequency of healing here for ourselves, for the people around us, and then for the people who were there back then, decades and centuries ago. We are holding the frequency for them, so that it is a constant frequency. So while things are happening here, they need to happen because they are a result of what was not gotten. But then if you are holding the frequency higher for that dimension, from that dimension, for that reality, it means that we are able to have that continuity of frequency. And we also need to remember how much we are being guided and how much we are being held from above, the 5th, 8th, 12th dimensional beings, they are there, and oh my goodness me, their healing power and their frequency, they haven't even started doing anything big here. So why? Because it's a human experience right now, so we need to do things on ourselves, and we need to do things for ourselves, okay? We need to do that. We need to do that work. We cannot just wait and receive. It doesn't work like that. We need to be in action about things. Okay, so through our own being. That is what we don't have any other choice, and that is what we need to do. And then even when we feel that it is a tunnel of darkness, we need to remember, we need to imagine we've got a thread between each of us. And then if one or two people here and there in a chain hold the candle, hold the light, then we are safe because we know where we are going. And then remember, if you happen to have the candle, make sure that you light the next person's candle, you know, and then the next one. But then even if there is that invisible thread of light, thread of energy between each of us, you know. So that is how we are guiding each other, how we are all connected. You cannot, even if you feel, that's another one, even if you feel alone, you need to know, you need to remember, even if you just remember but you don't feel, that you need to remember that you are never alone, and your job is to reach out for somebody or have somebody who is there for you. And then if you feel that you don't have anybody, there is still somebody out there, you know. So even if you don't feel it, that we still need to remember that. Okay, so here we go, my lovely friends. I meant to, yes, we are all connected, absolutely. I will read your comments, guys, here, but it's quite interesting because you see at the beginning I started with shuffling the cards, and the cards did not want to stop in my hand, nothing wanted to come out. And then you see I'm choosing the right time here on the light. So here we go. So it wasn't a conversation with the cards today. So that's today's message, my lovely ones. Okay, first day of March, 1st of March 2022. Oh my goodness, so lovely. So I'm not doing private readings, individual readings now. This is a group conversation that all of us, whether you are listening to it right now live or the replay or different channels, because it's going to be on my YouTube page, it's going to be on my Instagram page, so that if you are there, feel free to like it, share it, or comment, or if you have a question, you know. But I'd like to bring one card here, Angelic, you know, Stephanie J. King, who's coming back to the show. And then if you missed the beginning, with Stuart Leck, trance medium, who's working with White Eagle this Friday on the 4th of March. We still have tickets, so if anybody wants to hop on, it's £15, £15 UK, whatever currency is called, and then it's going to be 1 hour, and you have the opportunity to ask questions directly when he is, or when White Eagle is working with him. So it's absolutely beautiful. So small group, so it means that you will have your question answered. Okay, if you are interested, send me an email to hello@zsuzannamedium.com. Okay, Zsuzsanna Medium is always 9 letters, ZSUZSANNA medium.com, and all my pages go as Zsuzsanna Medium. If you find it that way, now check out not my Facebook page because I'm there right now, but check out my website, ZsuzsannaMedium.com. I started making some changes, and there are some even more changes coming up there as well, if anybody wants to book their own readings. Okay, I do shorter ones and longer ones, and really not necessarily psychic reading, you know. I'm feeling the energy, where the energy goes. We need to have more of soul, what is happening with your soul, you know, how energy can help you, not necessarily what is happening to you tomorrow, or if your loved one is coming back, or what is happening with even with your job. Of course it is important, but then there is a different level and layer of conversation, and I feel that the Spirit is guiding us and guiding me to work with you, lovely ones. So if anybody wants to have their psychic reading, yes, you can have that. I tune in with you, no problem. Or mediumship with grandmothers and all that, but then there is a very different level of working with you. So if you're interested, send me a message or email. And then if those of you who know, if you are here, I need to say this, sometimes people hop on the page and offer you readings and whatnot. Please ignore, delete and block the person, okay, because they are fishing for people. So here we go, last card. And then if you are around tonight, 3:30 p.m. EST, 8:30 p.m. GMT, and it's going to be Wednesday morning, 7:30 a.m. morning time for Australian Easter time people. I think it's Easter time or EDT, or one of those times. For the live Avana show tonight. I will be by myself doing readings, and I think I'm going to talk about something. I've got a little interesting topic there as well, which might change last minute, as it always does. But here we go. Okay, let's have a card. Yes, absolutely. That we are never really alone. Absolutely, yeah. We just have to remember that. And then, you know, the keyword trust, allow, and surrender. Because then, oh my goodness me, they are everywhere. Okay, let's have a card. Stephanie J. King, Angelic Messages. Okay, the topic is going to come to me. Pain, surreal. So if you're experiencing pain, you know that you've got the power to shift it. But then before you shift it, go in it, go inside. You know, even if you feel it, even if it's a physical pain, you know, somewhere in your body, where do I feel it? Close your eyes, sit with it for a couple of moments. Where do I feel it? Give it a color, ask for it, ask your body, what do I need to know about it? What do I need to understand? How can I heal? How can I help? Talk to your body. If it's a physical pain. If it's an emotional pain or mental pain, you do the same. You sit with it and notice how it is making you feel in your physical body, and then go with that sensation, not the feeling, but then the sensation. If you push away that form of pain, physical, mental, emotional, any form of pain, it's going to be there, because we are not recognizing it, we are not acknowledging it, and it shows that we are not willing to do anything with that. Okay, so if you are experiencing any of that, go with it, because that's quite like that. Go with it, you know. Go inside that, you know. Just get lost for a minute in the moment of that sensation of pain. It's not going to last, you know. Because if you remember any other points in your time before, when you had a physical pain, mental, emotional, all kind of pain, it wasn't there always, you know. So you experienced it, and then you got through, experienced it, and you got. Sorry about that, guys. Our mission is to go within and heal it, work with it. That was actually the big conversation. So here we go. Before we go forward, we need to experience this. Work with Seer, my love yours. Okay. So from this space, I'm sending you lots of love, many, many blessings. Thanks very much for being here, for being on this journey. If it was a little bit long, probably it had to be that way. Well, it's always like as it needs to be. But let me know if you got anything out of it, or if you have any question, because when I read your question and when I can be here, then the question will be acknowledged, and then it's never me who really speaks. Because even if I work with cards or anything like that, we are just a channel here, and you are that way. So we are exchanging the energies here. So my lovely ones, thanks you very much for being here, and I'm sending you lots of love, many, many blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful day, and see you later. If you want a reading, a group reading, you know, like a fire, quick reading. I always say it's fire, quick reading, but it tends to be longer. Then hit the bell. There's a little bell on your screen. You know, there's a bell. There's a different variation of bell. You know, and then you hit it, so you can be here when I'm here and I'm doing it. Or if you're more of an Instagram person, go there, because I quite like that one as well. So here we go. So lots of love to you all, my lovely friends. Go with grace and peace, everyone.